So here's what it looks like. What do you think? Today we're talking about the Globular Cluster CMA Comfort Mod for AVP First Gen. What a name. I've got it right here all hooked up to the Apple Vision Pro. We're gonna test it out and I'm gonna let you guys know what I think about this head strap modification and whether or not I think it's worth it. All right, so first things first, this thing is a hefty boy. It is pretty big and it's definitely gonna add some weight to the Apple Vision Pro, but I will say it does have a nice balance and weight transfer, which makes it feel a lot lighter than it actually is. Let me show you what I mean. So instead of actually having a strap that goes around the back of your head, this one is completely open in the back. Instead, it has a hinge where you can pull down this back support for the back of your head. And up top here, it has a forehead cushion. So this rests right towards the top of your forehead. And the way this is connected is kind of interesting. You have these 3D printed, I believe, molds on the side here that clip in right over the left and the right sides, right in front of the speaker channels. And what that means is this thing is super easy to put on and take off. For the back support here, it's on this hinge. You have a little cushion, and then when this comes down, there is a dial that you can rotate in the back and a little strap that you can secure up top to stop the hinge when you find the right fit. So what's really nice about the CMA1 is that once you get the fit secured, you really don't have to mess with it all that much. And because there's that hinge, you can just take it off, put it down, and whenever you want to put this thing back on, you just put it right back on and it basically locks into place on your head. And because you do need to remove the face shield before installing the CMA1, we're gonna test it out wearing it with no face shield. So this is one of the main selling points of this head strap, is that you can use it without a face shield. And in fact, you can use it with glasses, so long as your glasses aren't too thick or protruding into the lenses of the Apple Vision Pro. So let's try it out. So I've already adjusted it for my head and I've been testing this for a few days now. And my first impressions here are that it's definitely the heaviest head strap that I've used, and by far heavier than using the dual loop band or solo loop band that the Apple Vision Pro comes with. Caveat to that is that the weight transfer is incredible. So even though it's heavier, it feels much, much lighter. And because of that weight transfer, I would say I would best compare this to wearing a loose-fitting helmet rather than ski goggles like you get when you normally wear the Apple Vision Pro, which you might really like, or it might take some getting used to. All right, so there's definitely a lot of space and gaps. There's enough space here for me to stick my hand right in front of my eye. It's kind of nice, and I can see my hands, like if I need to pull out my phone. That is like the most annoying thing to me, by the way, is like when you get a text or notification on your phone, you're wearing the Vision Pro, and then you have to enter your passcode, and you have to take the thing off. But wearing this, there's a wide enough gap here that I can actually look down at my phone, and I can see everything just clearly like I normally would, or if I'm, writing something down on paper. I have tested this out with glasses, and my glasses do work with it. They don't work super well when it comes to the vision tracking. There are some glitches there, but that's less of an issue with this device and more of an issue with just the way that the Vision Pro wasn't designed to be used with glasses in the first place, but it does work. So another thing here with this device is that since it does sit more on top of your head rather than into your face, it does feel a little bit looser, which is something you have to keep in mind if you're shaking your head around or if you're turning around quickly because of the weight in the back. You do have to account for that, so just keep that in mind. If I were to lean down, this thing could slide off, and it's because it's sitting on my head like a helmet, but there's no chin strap here. If I tilt my head, it does start to slide away. But no, I do not want to wear a chin strap with this thing. I am never going to go full chin strap with the Apple Vision Pro, just no. All right, the last thing I'll point out here is that because there's no band in the back and these right and left channels that have the speakers just kind of sit flat against your ears, it can rub your ear tips a little bit depending on how big or small your head is. If you have a head like me, these kind of hit the top of my ears. Not a huge deal, but a little bit annoying. You can move the CMA1 forwards and backwards on those speaker channels if you want, but I still find it kind of rubs just into my ears a little bit. Let's pop the face shield in and test it out. And we're gonna put it back on. Whoa, okay. Not a huge change in terms of head feel for using the face shield, but I will say the top of the face shield does kind of press down into my brows a little bit. So I am getting a little pressure down in my brow. However, there is a little bit of space right above my cheeks. So there is a little bit of an air gap underneath here. But if you use the face shield like I am, you may get a little bit of pressure on the top here. It's not terrible, but it is enough to annoy me at least. Now, you can get a few different face shield pads and change out the different thicknesses of your face shields. So this may not be a problem for every face shield, but it is a problem for my face shield. And for reference, I have the 33W face shield here. Now, some people do complain that the CMA1 is hard to use when you're laying down, maybe on your back or against a chair, because of this back support right here. Now, I chatted with Globular Cluster about this, who provided this test device for me to review, and they suggested the solution was actually to push the hinge up forward and use the single loop band that comes with the Apple Vision Pro and pop that in. So we're going to test that out on the couch behind me and see how that works. Let's see how this goes. This is already way too many straps, but this is kind of interesting. Okay, you could definitely make this work. It's just, it's so heavy that if you move your head around at all, it's gonna tilt and you're gonna have to readjust and reposition. And now if I have to get up suddenly or something, like obviously this is not a great solution, right? Now if we take the single loop band off, you can also just tilt this, you can just tilt this hinge up and just rest the back of your head against the pillow without having to use the dual loop band. And it's basically, at least for me, it works out about the same, but I mean, it's just not quite as supported. Point is, it's tweakable if you work it, but you have to want it. So it also comes with a few different cushion options. Okay, so you got a few for the rear. You have this light and airy foam cushion. You have this plasticky vinyl type cushion, which is easy to clean apparently. And then finally you have this honeycomb rubberized cushion, which has a lot of weight to it actually. This is kind of hefty. So I really actually do prefer the hefty version here because not only does it feel nice because of the honeycomb structure, so it doesn't get all sweaty in the back of my head, but also because of the weight, it kind of counterbalances the front of the Vision Pro. And so it actually makes it feel more balanced on your head, which is one of the biggest complaints that I've had and pretty much everybody else has had about the Vision Pro, is that it's too top heavy. So this is a nice kind of counterbalance for that. You also do get a couple options for the front cushion as well. There's this vinyl similar to the other one, and then kind of like this gel-like feeling one that almost feels like one of those old mouse pads. And then of course the one it comes with is this gray cushiony light foam that's in there, and actually I just prefer that one. So is the Globular Cluster CMA1 for AVP first gen worth it? I actually think it is. I really like this device. It serves a purpose besides just being another head strap, and that is that you can use the Apple Vision Pro without the face shield, but it also has the weight transfer in the back, which balances it out. and makes it feel a lot more comfortable for extended periods of wear. So I'm not sure this would be something I'd carry around traveling, but for home use and remote work, which is what I've been using it for daily, I think it's pretty great. Now, in terms of value, the CMA1 I think is priced at $70 right now, which is cheaper than Apple's own Solo Loop Band, but a little bit more expensive than some other 3D printed head strap solutions that you might find out there. And I think this product also fits in somewhere in between being a startup product and a premium product. I am curious about the longevity of this product. I'll be testing this out for the next month or so, and I'm gonna drop a comment below after a month of wear to let you guys know just how it's faring and if I still like using the device. If you are interested in picking up the CMA1 for the Apple Vision Pro, I put a link in the description below where you can buy it. Let me know what you think, and thanks for watching.